Are we live? I'm not sure. Um, yep, I think we're live. Sorry, I'm just trying some new software on the laptop. It's in some still uh, without working phone for now. Um, and yeah, it's just a strange place. I'm blinded by the light on my left, but unfortunately, let's see if I can change it also slightly. Still see me? Do a little bit better. Um, yeah, it was tough day, and whatever Friday represents in a week for the collective psychosis seems to be spilling over into Thursdays and Saturdays now, where I'm in a lot of pain, and there's something going on with vibration and sound because my ears are really affected, and that it seems to be repeated on Fridays for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it is what it is, and it's just a case of being here in the present moment today. Uh, just riding out life. I've got too much, and I've thought of a few possible things I can do to distract myself, and I couldn't really summon the energy for any of them. When I'm in this place, being on the computer is often a good starting point because while I'm on there and you can focus your mind, even if you don't have the energy to do anything else. And I don't use the computer to do much. I mean, there's only so much web surfing you can do. There's only so many videos you can do. There's only so many scrolls you can make through Facebook. When you have a mental health disorder and you've limited your Facebook feed down to the bare minimum to get anything in way of entertainment for it to distract you that way. But I thought of one productive thing I can do on the computer, and it just I wasn't able to do it. I wasn't able to summon the energy, but somehow live streaming with a more active communication to reality and other people in the immediate seems to be feasible in this place. And there are many reasons why that could be, but ultimately the live streams have proven helpful and therapeutic in the past, so I do that now. But in the attempt to get the live stream up and running and working, uh, because I've been live streaming on Facebook over the past week, 2 weeks without without a phone. And on computer, it's like you need the right software, and the website I used to use, my subscription run out to to live stream to Facebook and YouTube. And I was just looking around how can I get a live stream going. And what I've been trying to do in the past few weeks, one of the few things that, since I've been using the computer, I've upgraded it to Windows 11, and it's had this bug and that bug, and I've done it about 3 times, if I'm honest. Had to reinstall it. And one of the reasons that it was worthwhile to upgrade was the feature that's in Windows 11 that allows you to install Android applications that you get on the Android mobile phones on the PC. And that would have saved me during this time without a phone and access to my bank account, which is just an app on a phone, and my credit cards with Apple Pay and everything else. And I've been unable to do it. But there's been a lot of stress on me, because if you can imagine, it comes down to purchasing food, water, purchasing your heat, so whether that be a pay-as-you-go meter or the like, if it's not on direct debit. But for me it's coal, and it's just to have a bit of heat at night, purchase the gas bottle, etc, etc. So it's a real pressured thing to have access to technology nowadays. And it's not been possible. I'm tech savvy. I've tried countless applications in addition to the Windows option, and I've kept plugging away, and in the end I've had to spend £70 repairing a broken iPhone that won't ever make calls again, but just to access the Apple Pay feature and my bank details that are all saved on the phone. Basically there's a problem with the SIM card and the SIM card tray, and to do that you need to replace the whole motherboard or something inside, and it's just not worthwhile. And plus, if you do that, you lose all your details anyway. So, but I was at a bit of a loss. You can't really buy a working iPhone without a credit card, and that's what I had to do. I spent £70 repairing a broken iPhone, to an extent that it's still not fixed, it's still broken. But there was a relief. I mean, not that I really had much time to sit in that relief, yes, because it only happened yesterday when it got fixed. And the pressure's been there for like 2-3 weeks, where I've not been able to function. And I've been trying on some level to get a solution done. And I sat down now, and that pressure's pretty much off my shoulders. There shouldn't be an issue there. And I thought, let me give this, well, I didn't even think, I just started playing around with the Windows option to install the apps again. And I couldn't believe it. I tried like first or second time, and I managed to do it. Well, the app's installed. That popped up on the screen, and it was weird to see it working, but it's just a bit too. There was 1 or 2 other features and settings I need to tweak and play around with, and thought sod it. So I just had a quick look online, and I found a good Windows desktop alternative. So that's what I'm using at the moment. But this really brings into question a conversation I had with my uncle around the beginning of this few week period when I didn't have access to money. Not that we're in the best relationship in terms of how my family relationships have been in the past, due to my mental health and you guys again with the collective psychosis. My family are all at a distance. All the relationships are up in the air, so to speak, where they stand. And my relationship with my family is now an occasional call to my auntie or text message, and giving my uncle a call when I can vocalize and articulate the insanity of what's going on in my life in a very grounded way, that he might be able to hear me. So in other words, when shit hits the fan, I give my uncle a call. But the way I communicate with him in those times is a case of, right, Kos, that's what I call him, Kostas Kostagi. I'm experiencing this problem, that problem, and the other problem. And he might ask me, all right, well, what's the cause? And I say to him, well, I had this interaction with a reptilian. Don't ask the story. It's a true story, but I won't go into detail now. I had this interaction with a reptilian 2 years ago. My life has been falling down since. I think it's him. So in other words, with my uncle, I speak the truth from my perspective and understanding of reality, knowing that he shares an idea of that reality on some level. And he's a very grounded person with a very, how can I put it? He's a part of the world, you know. He's got a life, he's got troubles, he's got children, he's older, and he's very wise. Not that most people would ever see it in him. I won't tell you who he's been lucky enough to re-inherit. Maybe we'll have to bring that in, re-inherit. But inherited the, I believe, I've still got to clarify in my mind, because with reincarnation, that's what I'm talking about. It's split into many different ways. So in other words, after I die, I will reincarnate. My soul, these eyes, because the eyes are the soul, eyes are the window to the soul, will reincarnate. And that will be the rightful reincarnation. And that's what we normally think of when we think of reincarnation. But to my further progressive understanding of, well, the physical body, really. First and foremost, the physical body with a love for spirituality. And that's really compartmentalized reincarnation into maybe 5 different ways, where you've got the emotional body, you've got the energy body, you've got the soul, you've got the lineage. So in other words, the family lineage, what's been handed down. And there's 1 or 2 others, and then you get into energetic polarization, and then I've said it before, you realize for each soul, there's probably like 100, 200, I don't know, so I haven't done the maths yet, different ways that life gets shared out between humanity. Because don't forget, you know, I have this life, and we have 5 different ways it can all be reincarnated, and then we share our lives with other people, and how that's affected, and how almost, and I'm still learning, I'm still gathering the information, so I don't really know categorically, but what it's looking like is some reincarnations almost go sideways. I know this doesn't make sense, the soul reincarnation is but my life, next life, life after. Then some reincarnations like focusing more on the emotional body. And with the emotional body, it's not so like this life, next life. It's like one continuous life that is always present on planet Earth. And then with that presence, it can find home within different people. So it's just changing your perspective on how to look at things. But I won't tell you who he's been blessed to have received the reincarnation of. I mean, this person is just, he's not even that, well, he's famous now, but he's well respected from my perspective, and that's the reason. And he also, his son, I'm not willing to share again who he is the actual reincarnation of, but that was a great teacher for planet Earth, and he's disabled. Jason, my cousin, my uncle's son. So my uncle is a wise person within the body and appearance of an idiot from the outside. I don't have any qualms in saying that about him. I mean, no harm to him. But he's a very grounded person, and in this world, wisdom on that level can look a bit like an idiot if you don't know them. So I know he's very much aware of conspiracy theories, and for instance, I just told you about the reptilian that seems to be ruining my life and killing me slowly. And I'm aware that my uncle is able to hear that information, and when he hears it, he's actually able to think and calculate ideas and thoughts on it. Whereas if I was to rock up with a FaceTime call to my auntie when my phone starts working again, she'd be like, "What? Reptilian? All right, Andreas, I think you need some more antipsychotics." But that's essentially the extent of my relationship with my family at present. And my uncle helped me out a few weeks ago with lending me some money to get me through this period, so I can, well, I had the money, just couldn't access it to repay him. That reminds me, I need to repay him now when the phone starts charging. It's another problem that it seems to have been created, but no, I'll be able to get it working enough. Just needs a little bit of attention. But that exact thing, getting the phone to charge, is exactly what I'm talking about now. Because I had a conversation when my uncle came to the boat to give me some money, and I had a conversation with him. And essentially what the crux of that conversation boiled down to, and I think his words were along the lines of, it's like when you can't see something that's right in front of you. And he said it like 2 or 3 times, and I was under so much pressure then I couldn't really think. And I said to him, yeah, of course, it's like when you're under so much stress and you can't see, it prevents you from seeing clearly. You're not relaxed. Maybe once the stress goes, then you can see. And it's a bit like that with the app, because all this time I've been trying to install it on the computer, and I've been under so much pressure. And when I'm feeling that pressure, my arms, my shoulders hunch, and my arms come up like this, and I'm there, because this is the computer in front of me now. And I'm there, and I'm like, it's like I'm moving mountains, or I'm moving heavy weights without every little finger movement. And then That's why I'm hunched over, because the weight's so much. And then today the pressure wasn't there. I mean, all right, I was in a lot of pain, and the pressure could still have been a lot less, needing to make a live stream because I'm in agony and I can't think about anything what I can do just to get me through, other than make a live stream. So there was still a bit of pressure there, but I knew I could make one, whatever. So he just popped up. He just managed to work. All right, I said there's a few more settings, and I've just listened to my energy levels to say, oh, sod it, I'll find another way. But it worked today. And the conversation I had with him is, when he was here, I laugh. I'll tell you why I laugh in a second. But I was at the same time of him lending me more money, I was repaying him for a favour he'd done the time before, where he sent 2 of his team round. He's a builder, and he sent 2 of his team round to give me a hand with the back room on the boat. And I had a stereo there. I mean, I would have loved to listen to it. As stereos go, my understanding was this was like the best quality money can buy. It was one of the, I didn't need it, but it was one of the things I purchased with my dad's inheritance. But that was when I was in a flat. Now I'm in a boat. I don't know what power it would have needed, 500-600 watts probably, to put out that pitch perfect tone. And I'm not that big a music fan. I thought I could use it in a therapeutic sense. But I thought, sod it, I could probably sell it for a bit more, but I'll just give it to my uncle since he's willing to take it. So he was picking up that stereo, and I was estate that day, and he was trying to open a power tool for me that had got jammed, and I was putting the stereo into a box for him outside on the canal path, and some cables fell in. Or a box with the cables fell in. I plucked it out, and I wasn't sure if any cables had fallen out from that box into the water. So I thought, I can't give my uncle a stereo with one cable missing and it doesn't work, not when he's done me a favour. So I had to go in. It was only down to waist height, but I had to, well, I didn't have to, but I took my shorts off, so I was down to my boxers, and that's why I laughed, because it must have been hilarious to view this big bearded man in down to his boxers getting into the canal, and there was no cables in there. But I said, oh, I found something, what's this? And I picked it up. This is thinking it was possibly from the stereo, and I think it was a brick, but it was a rock. That's how I viewed it first. And I said to him, "Cos, it reminds me of something I've been thinking about a lot of the time," and that was a conversation with my other uncle, Vladimir. My grandfather came from a communist family, so got Dimitri, my dad, Kostagi, my uncle, middle uncle, and Vladimir, my youngest uncle. Yeah, anyway. But my other uncle Vlad, he was more spiritually minded. He basically gave his life to spirituality, but he was grounded in this world as well. He knew this world, and he wasn't a pushover on any level. But the way our relationship was, he's like my guardian angel. That's the way our relationship was, because as I grew up, my life is spirituality, and that's the relationship we had, and the energy within it was unlike any other relationship I've had ever. He was like a friend on the level, but with friends on the level, you're still able to tell someone off when they're being an idiot, and you're also able to listen to someone else when they're being an idiot, if they're just sharing an idea, even though they're wrong. And that was very much our relationship. And a lot of what he's shared with me in this life has stayed with me. And one of the stories he told me was when he was on a spiritual retreat somewhere. I don't know where it was. And they were given different tasks and the like. And one of the tasks that they were set was to go out in the woods and find a special rock, their rock, like a spiritual rock, or something they could look at and use as a external source of power, whatever level the task was for. And he was telling me the story, and he said, he was in the woods and he was looking for his rock. He was looking for his rock and he couldn't find it. And then he forgot about his rock, and then he found his rock. And he was like, oh, there's my rock. And that story has been playing over in my mind, because with the relationship me and my Vlad had between us, it was like nothing was shared from him towards me in stories like that. That was without purpose, without reason, without meaning. And I know within that story that he has given to me, there is purpose and application to my life in some way that I'm yet to discover. And for that reason, the story plays over in my mind, and I'm thinking, right, on what level is he talking about finding my rock? Is he talking about finding a partner, a relationship? Is he talking about finding my voice, which has happened in this time? Is it talking about finding my mind? Is he talking about finding my spirit? Or is he talking about finding a rock? I don't know. So I keep picking it apart. And the irony was, I picked out a rock when I wasn't looking, so it was with my feet. I felt it with my feet. And I pulled it up with my feet. And that's what he said. You'll find basically the message I got from that story, the long and short of it is, you'll find your rock when you're not looking. He wasn't looking and he found his rock. And I wasn't looking and I found the brick. I said to my uncle, after he said, oh, like when you're looking at something straight in front of you and you can't see it. And I said, yeah, about the stress. And then after I said, it's bigger than I thought, talking about the rock I found. I always thought if I found the rock, it would be like